what do you think of my pumpkin then? I'm sure that you have carved your own pumpkin already this year, and maybe you've been to the pumpkin patch to pick your very own pumpkin. Carving pumpkins and pumpkin patches are a fairly new thing in Scotland. I think it's come all the way from the United States of America. Before that, we would carve turnip or neeps, and let me tell you, carving a turnip is much harder than carving a pumpkin. But why do we have pumpkins at this time of year? Usually when it's getting dark, or maybe we have them for Halloween, of course, and of course it's to light up the darkness because it gets very dark around this time of year. Now, I don't know what you did for Halloween this year. Perhaps you just stayed at home and got dressed up. Of course, some people like Halloween and some people don't like it. Some people think it's just a bit of fun, and other people think it's dark and scary. Now, in the church, we tend not to celebrate Halloween because we believe that Jesus is the light of the world, and he is the one that came into the world to take away all the darkness and to take away everything that's frightening or scary. So most churches don't have Halloween parties, but what some churches do is they have a light party. And maybe not this year, but certainly maybe last year or in years before, some churches would have a light party and the children would come and they would be dressed up maybe in bright colours or maybe in white, and they would bring with them maybe some fairy lights or some glow sticks, or they might have some candles with them, or they would have a torch. And at the party, they would shine their lights and they would have a dance and there would be lots of disco lights. So that's a light party instead of a Halloween party. But what does Halloween actually mean? Well, it means really the night before All Hallows Day. But what's All Hallows Day? Well, Hallows means saint, so it means All Saints' Day. And some churches do celebrate All Saints' Day. In fact, today, Sunday the 1st of November, is All Saints' Day. And churches celebrate the saints, of course. But what is a saint? Well, you might think, of course, of people who have done something really important down through the years, or maybe a long time ago, and we refer to them as saints. Maybe they've done something really great. And of course, we remember our own patron saint, St Andrew, the patron saint of Scotland. But maybe you've heard your mum or dad or gran or grandpa calling someone a saint, saying he's a saint or she's a saint, and what it really means is that they're a really good person, they're really kind and thoughtful, and they're really helpful towards other people. So we also might go into an art galleries or a museum and we might see a big picture of a saint, and usually at the top of their head they have a round circle of light, and that's called a halo. Now, of course, I've got a halo as well. Here it is. You all know that I've got my own halo. Of course, mine's isn't a lit up halo. It's one that's got glitter on it and some fluff. But that's my halo. Now, of course, I'm not saying that I'm a saint, but it does say that people who believe in God and who are really good and try and help each other and love each other, well, they're really saints as well. So isn't that something to be thankful for, that we can actually all be saints? And so we celebrate each other in All Saints' Day. Now, next week is Remembrance Sunday on the 8th of November. And usually we would have an act of remembrance in the town. We would go to the town war memorial, and there would be bands, pipe bands and brass bands, and all the children from the different schools would gather and would have prayers and hymns. And unfortunately, because of coronavirus, that's not going to happen this year. And perhaps you were going to take part in that. Perhaps you were in one of the bands or one of the uniformed organisations, the Scouts or the Boys Brigade and Girls Association or the Guides. So that won't happen this year, but perhaps you would still like to be involved some way in Remembrance Day. So here's an idea. You remember that we at the beginning of the pandemic, people painted stones. They put maybe rainbows on a stone, or maybe a message of hope, and they would leave them at the beach park. So here's an idea. You could paint a poppy on a pebble or a stone, and if you can do this carefully and safely, you could take it to the War Memorial in Panbride Church, or leave it at the doors of Newton Church. And we'll have these as part of our remembrance celebration, and we'll have these until maybe the 11th of November, Armistice Day, and then we'll take them away and maybe leave them in the church. So if you can safely do that, paint your stone, paint with a poppy, and leave it at either the church doors on Arbroath Road at Newton Church, or take it to the War Memorial in Panbride Church, if you can do that safely. Until we see each other again, stay safe. God bless.